Hello, everyone. My name is Mike. I'm the community manager for AK Titan Group, and this is Ali. You want to introduce yourself real quick?
What's going on, everybody? How you doing? I'm the owner of AK Titan Group, M2 FICO Forge, the Score Machine, the printing company, bunch of different bunch of different softwares and things that we do, and we go about. I'm the one that gets asked all the questions, so Mike is going to ask me a bunch of questions today, and we're going to rock and roll.
Awesome. You ready? Ready for your interrogation?
I mean that if we're gonna start calling it that, that's gonna be great. I do like the word interrogation at this point because that's kind of what it is sometimes. But yes, I'm down for the interrogation. Let's rock.
Awesome. So, question one. For someone who has never really understood credit, can you explain in simple terms what that actually is and how it impacts their financial life?
I'll give you a perfect example today. Today I took one of my business partners to get a car underneath his business, and 2 years ago he didn't understand any of it. He didn't understand what credit was, what doing anything in your credit or debt leveraging or any of that stuff was, because he came from a time where everybody based everything was cash is king. Well, I told him, I was like, cash is king, but credit is the queen. To get access to make more capital, you're going to need proper credit. And here's what credit is. Credit is basically telling a lender that you're a low risk viability to lend money to. I'm going to pay my loan back. I'm not going to over leverage myself. I'm not going to do anything to hurt the company. I'm going to pay what they've lent me out at whatever percentage that they let me out. And I'm going to pay them back, and I'm going to be somebody that they can lend money to. Here's the thing. I and my business partner didn't put a single dollar down for the car that he just bought. So yes, it may be a liability. He's going to drive that car, do whatever, he just leased it. But here's the thing. Credit gave him the opportunity to get out of a car that he's owned for 20 years now and have something that's new, where not only is safer, but at the end of the day is better for him in the aspect of life by working in the sentiment of doing what he needs to do. Like, he needs to show up to a job. He doesn't have to worry about flats or anything that goes on. So credit gives you opportunities that other things don't give you. Credit gives you the opportunity to own things if you weren't able to afford. Now you'll be able to afford over time. It's like layaway from back in the day. Now it's that same type of understanding.
Yeah, it's good. So, most people hear terms like credit score, credit report, and credit history, but they don't understand the difference. Could you
Credit
explain
scores.
the role
Yeah,
of each
sure.
one? Yeah.
Credit score is the actual score that is judged. The credit report tells you why your score got judged the way it is. And the credit history is the actual things that you have on the report and how long they've been reporting for. So, perfect example. I have a Chase account, right? Just use this as, I have a Chase account. Okay? The Chase account is on my credit report. The credit history is how long my Chase account has been on my credit report, and my score is now adjusted, goes up or down, based upon the age of that credit score. This is a whole long thing. We usually cover this on tomorrow's class, which is our mastermind class on Thursdays. Make sure you lock in on that one. Link will always be in any of the descriptions that we put in any which way, YouTube, TikTok, all that stuff. They'll always be in the descriptions how to get locked in the mastermind group and get over to the mastermind classes on Friday. So with that, that'll be how it's explained and locked in.
Perfect. Awesome. So, we all know that credit can be a little intimidating. How can someone start learning about their credit without feeling overwhelmed with like all the terminology and stuff?
I mean, it's not a hard question, but it is a hard question. And in the sense, it's not something that the terminology is not hard to understand. Like a trade line is an account. That's all it is. Credit report is just an actual report. It just tells you what's on your account. Credit history is the length of the time that something's been reporting on your account. Your account has been reporting on the file. your credit score is what comes from all these reporting. So, just to give you a few odds and ends, they're not daunting. It's just understanding where it is. And understanding how to read a credit report is huge. And I think I'm going to do that later in the future, is how to actually read a credit report. We might be doing it live on one of these Lunch and Learn classes, the Mike and Ollie class. We'll do a live how to read a credit report. We'll try to find somebody that has, a fake credit report somewhere that we can read and, break that down type of thing.
That'd be awesome. So when it comes to credit, why is it so crucial for people to understand how the system works? And is it just about borrowing money, or is there more to it?
Repeat that question again.
Okay, so why is it so crucial for people to understand how the system works? And is it just about borrowing money, or is there more to it?
So there is more to it. Fundability is a major part, but also credit unlocks a lot of things with your companies that you work for. It can unlock better rates for loans. It unlocks better rates for increases on insurance. It unlocks increases for what is that called? Salaries and job positions. Credit is a key factor of a risk assessment of that human being. That's why I like to say that credit is just not your credit score. It's a risk assessment on you. So, and I'm sorry, I got to give the truth here. Your risk assessment is, if you don't pay your credit and you have bad credit, well, you're a liability. You're a liability not only to the bank, but anybody that you're in touch with. And that's the God's honest truth. It's not unfixable, though. It's a thing where we try to teach you now to not be a liability. Well, nobody ever taught you that. So that's the truth. Nobody ever taught you that. But here's the thing. How many people go out in their everyday life and buy things they don't need? And the truth and the fact of the matter is, a lot of people. They buy things they don't need. They charge it to their credit card, and that's what happens. So it is that risk assessment, and that's how it changes everything. That's why it's major. It's not about borrowing money. It's about the risk assessment of your own life and how you conduct yourself in your own life. So it's a bigger picture.
It's good. So a lot of people, they think they could just pay off their debt and their credit will magically improve. But that's not always the case, right? So what do people get wrong about improving their credit?
So it's not that they get something wrong about improving their credit. It's so utilization is one part of a bigger pie. Okay, think of your credit score as a pizza pie type of thing, and credit is one slice. Utilization is one slice. They all make up your credit score. Just because you pay your utilization down on you could pay your utilization down on a file that's been, got 30 late payments. It doesn't mean nothing. You still got 30 late payments to deal with. Yep. So, or you could pay your utilization down on a file that's been charged off. So now you have to go down all these different methods and take a look at all these different files and see what it is. Okay? Just because you get a negative item removed doesn't mean your credit goes up. It may go down because you're moving pieces of the pie. So all this stuff comes into play. Again, Friday course, join on the Discord, lock in with us, because I break that down. I actually take the pizza pie and break the pizza pie down. So, good question. I like that question.
Good. So I gotta see which one I'm at. For people who are just starting to fix their credit, what are some of the biggest mistakes you see them making, and how can they avoid these pitfalls?
They stop. I mean, that's the biggest thing. It's got nothing to do with what you use. Yes, we would love you to use the M2 FICO Forge software. Shameless plug. But at the end of the day, people give up too quickly, and they start jumping. They start hopping from one company to another 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 company, and they don't actually let anybody get traction. Now, I'm going to give some knowledge here. Don't ever go with a company that says you can get your credit clean in 30 days. Okay? Don't ever go with a company that doesn't know how to, I'll clean your credit in 30 days. Okay? Anybody that's doing a sweep or any of that garbage, no bueno. No bueno. You want to get with people that actually understand what's going on, understand what needs to be done, how they're going to get to the top, how they're going to keep growing. So you want to get with people that are going to do it right. Fact of the matter, it took me 3 years to fix my credit, and now with the 815 credit score, I'm able to do whatever we want. Again, and I'm going to post a video on TikTok later. I want to do a video with what we just bought in the business because of the credit score. So the retrospect of what it is, and I know people will be viewing these at all different times, but fixing your credit and staying on the course is the best thing. I'm not saying stay on the course with the same person, but there's a lot of do-it-yourself softwares now. Don't pay somebody else. You could do it yourself. Our M2 FICO Forge, you can go to m2ficoforge.com. You can get registered for free and you do it yourself. It literally, their AI, you click it once, it takes you about 30 seconds to do it. So why would you pay somebody else to do it for you? Even if you don't want to print the letters, there's a printing company inside. So literally, it's completely, you don't have to do anything yourself, but just click it. So definitely a lot that's there that people just need to wake up and see.
Awesome. So is there a time limit? Do you think you should, before you start fixing your credit, you should write down a goal of what you want to see on your credit, like a score of when it'll tell you to stop doing credit repair, or you should just wait till every negative item's off?
So we have a magical software called the Score Machine, which will tell you when you're fundable. Use the software. So that should be when all the check boxes are green. Yep. That means you're fundable. That means you're ready to rock and roll. Perfect. That's when you stop credit. That's when you stop credit. Perfect. Because that means your file is complete and fundable. Now, credit repair also includes credit building. I included all into the same thing because it's repairing your credit. So you may not need to remove a negative item, but you may need to build up your file, and that's something that you may need to do. Perfect.
So what's the first thing someone should do when taking control of their credit? Is it checking their score, or should something come first?
Pull a credit score that, if you're rocking with us, guys, we'll have it all set up for you. You go into My Free Score Now, pull the credit score from My Free Score Now, and you guys are going to watch what happens. Why? Because it pulls directly into our software. And if it pulls directly into our software, you don't have to worry about trying to figure out how to get it to the software, this, and the other thing. Let it pull, let it read it. Once it reads it, it'll do a lot of damage for you, in the sense that it will tell you how to do damage control. Once you start damage control, you really can start to grow your credit if you know what's wrong with it. Hey, there might not be anything wrong with it. Now that means you're fundable. That's it. You just get to know. So, and that's our Score Machine software. Our Score Machine software will tell you, hey, look, you're fundable. You're ready to rock and roll. And that's where you don't get a daunting task. You don't get into these credit repair softwares who don't really give you anything. You get into a credit repair software and understand what's there. And you get into a software that's going to tell you, I want to fund you. So I need to make sure you're ready to get funded.
Awesome. So, if someone has poor credit, but they want to start focusing on something, should they start by paying off old debts or creating healthy credit habits moving forward?
So let me ask you a question. When you talk about old debts, do you mean charged off debts, or do you just mean old debt? Just debt that people are carrying?
It could be both. Could answer both.
I mean, two different ways to handle it. That's why I'm asking you. So do you want it to
start off with charge off? Start off with charge off, and then go to the next.
So charge off debt means you'd have to remove it, so you have to go into credit repair. Okay, so that is a whole, going through the software, getting your 8 months, 9 months, however long it takes to get that charge off removed. But once that charge off is gone, then you start your rebuild. But say you don't have a charge off, say you have just a standard balance on your account. Say you're 50% utilized. Well, then you're going to start paying your balance down. You're going to start paying your balance down monthly. Okay. How are you going to pay your balance down monthly? You're going to start breaking it down into weekly payments. Okay. I'm going to pay $100 every week. I'm going to pay $200 every week. Okay. My balance is $2,000. I'm going to pay $100 every week. In 10 weeks, it'll be paid off. Or I said 2,000, 20 weeks it'll be paid off. If it's 1,000, 10 weeks it'll be paid off. But once you start doing that, it's going to change your life. Is your life going to suck in that time frame? Yeah, oh heck yeah it is. But you'd rather your life suck in that time frame than your life be good with $1,000 in debt. Mm-hmm. I would rather no debt and my life be a little crappy until I get out of debt than my life be good and I'm in debt. Yeah. I don't like being in debt.
No.
So that is a huge thing. Paying off all debts. Always have good, healthy credit behavior every time. Don't spend money you don't have. Don't do things if you don't have it. Okay. Don't buy cars if you don't need it. Don't buy. Look, if you can't afford a Rolls Royce, don't buy a Rolls Royce. Some people say, well, I only live once. Bad financial advice. Okay? Bad financial advice. I only live one. They only live one statement. Because what happens if you can't afford to take it? They repo it and they put a repossession on your credit. Actions have consequences with credit. They don't care what happens to you. They don't care if you lost your job. That's not their problem. They've lent you money on the thing that you were going to pay your bill back. Your thing is to make sure you're stable and don't overextend yourself. So at the end of the day, don't try not to overextend yourself is by doing everything correctly from the beginning. So having good credit habits and paying your debts off on the proper time is the best thing that you could do. I think both of them are strong and both of them need to be done correctly.
Perfect. So many people are fixated on their credit score, but they don't always understand why they're not fundable. How can someone look beyond their score and understand the full picture of their credit worthiness?
Okay, so that's a great question. So our funding software, the Score Machine, actually breaks it down, but I'll do a little breakdown over here on the thing. So it's not the score, because I can artificially inflate a score by just, excuse me, by just putting a couple of authorized users or a couple of trade lines. Okay, that doesn't mean that that's the proper thing that it needs to be done. Okay, what I need is I need to hit all the markers that the pizza pie is looking for. Okay, I need to have low utilization. I need to have no negatives. I need to have a mixture of accounts, which are revolving, revolving mortgage and installments. I need to have no inquiries. I need to have certain things. So you start to see all this stuff that it's asking you, and then you start to fill in the pizza pie with the right stuff that you're looking for. Okay, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't understand that. So we understand that, and that's what we're telling you. You remain unfundable if you think that you're in a situation, okay, that is really, really bad when you come to a certain aspect. Okay, you have to make sure to remain fundable. Okay, to remain fundable, you've got to get to a point in time where all those boxes are clicked. All those boxes are checked. And you can't do that until it gets to that point. Does that make sense?
Yep. So if someone's been through a financial setback, like a bankruptcy or foreclosure, what's the first step they should take to rebuild their credit and move forward?
So use software. Get that bankruptcy, your foreclosures off your credit as quickly as possible. The quicker that you get it off your credit, the faster you get that off your credit, the better you are. Okay? If that's not on your score, right? They can't do nothing about it. Because that changes your risk assessment. If your risk says, okay, you've already went into bankruptcy and foreclosure, they're not going to want to lend you money. But if it's not there, okay, if it's not there, they don't know about it, and because they don't know about it, there's nothing they can do about it. So the best thing to do is remove it as quickly as possible. Okay, I don't care if it's a week that you own that. I don't care if it's anything that you do. You need to make sure that you remove it as quickly as possible.
That's good. A lot of people don't realize how many errors, like actual errors, are lurking on their credit reports. What are some common errors that people should look out for, and how can they fix them?
I mean, we just had an esteemed guest. We just had an esteemed guest join over here. Might as well, make him a part of the party over here and let him answer that question.
Yeah.
Is he off mute?
Does he have a camera?
I don't know if he has a camera. I don't know what he's doing over there.
Well, hello there. Is this recorded?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
you mid record.
We're recording.
Okay. What was the question?
No, I said there's a lot of people that don't realize how many errors are on their credit reports, like actual errors. What are some common errors that people should look out for, and how can they fix them?
Common errors. For personal information. That's the first thing. Personal information. A lot of people have a lot of different names misspelled, or people when they get married, they have their last name still tied on the report. A lot of people have a lot of different addresses still tied to the report, not knowing that when you go dispute something and it comes back as verified, 9 times out of 10, you didn't make sure you had one name, one address. Because if they have 10 different ways, 20 different ways to verify your information, it's not really hard to verify anything. So that's one of the things. And again, just a simple, you can do that through the software, or you can give a simple call to the 3 bureaus to get rid of those personal informations.
Awesome. How does personal information affect your credit report, though?
Beautiful. So if you try to say that, hey, you try to dispute this AT&T account, and you try to say that if they say this is not my account, like that's not my account, why is it reporting like this, that, and the third? Well, if they say, well, yes it is, because here's your name, here's your address, well, damn, they got you. But if you update that name, if you update that address, so now you take that address, remove it from your report, now you tell them, yeah, this is not my account, how can you say this, how can you match this back up to me? Now when they look at it, well, wrong name, wrong address. Well, how can they say that's your account?
Good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So what's the most common myth you've encountered about credit that people need to stop believing?
Ooh. I'm going to remove this account and my score's going to go up.
Oh.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true.
You know, the funny, I don't mean to cut you off, Dre. So we answered a version of the question before, and I said the same exact thing. So it's great to hear it from 2 separate people, and that wasn't scripted because Dre came in late. So that that this is not scripted. Dre said that on his own. Dre, go back at it. My bad.
Yeah, so a lot of people just think that if I remove this account from my report, this AT&T account, my score should automatically go up. No, your report is deprived of with different factors. So let's say if you had that account for 10 years, now you're losing 10 years of credit history. What if you had a high limit? If you had 50,000, but you were just stacked with late payments? Well, if we have to remove that account, you're gonna lose a $50,000 credit limit. So your scores are gonna go down. So again, just because you remove something doesn't mean that your score is gonna automatically go up. One more misconception is I need to focus on my score. The score. All right, I need to get I need a 790 credit score, blah, 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 blah. Score, yes, is going to get you in the door. But to get you approved, you need that report. So when people say, yeah, let me just get a 790 credit score, well, that might mean if you're just focusing on the score, I can go sell you some trade lines right now. And that'll boost your credit score up. But if you have late payments, if you have a collection, you're not getting any funding. So we got to focus on the report, not the score.
Again, everything that was said previously, and you know what? It's good to hear that it's not just coming from me. It's coming from somebody else who's saying that the same thing, even if it's in a different way, it's just saying the same thing. Like, It's to hammer that quality of the sentiment home of what we're trying to say and what we're trying to get everybody to understand.
For sure.
It's good. What's one thing most people overlook when trying to fix their credit? It may seem kind of small, but it has a huge impact if they get it right.
Make sure that the utilization is down. A lot of people, they think well, I could just, if I'm over 30-40%, no, that's a really big deal. Like, a lot of people don't. And of course, those late payments. One late payment can drastically drop you, like 190 some points. It can drop you. So a lot of people overlook, man, it's just one late payment. One late payment can tank your score. And one late payment can be the difference between you getting approved or denied. You having a high utilization can be the difference between you getting approved or denied. No bank wants to loan somebody money if you still owe 20 different people and you're maxed out of that limit that they gave you. Nobody wants to be the 10th person to be in the list of, oh, he owes me too. Nobody wants to do that.
Yep.
So,
Knowing your utilization, knowing your overall utilization is key. What a lot of people don't know is nobody knows their overall utilization. They know, oh, I'm maxed out on card A, right? But what they don't realize is if you have card A's got $1,000, card B's got $2,000, you got $3,000, whatever, and you've got 10,000 total, and you've got all these thousands all over, right? You got 10,000 total, and now you have 5,000 in total. You're 50% utilization overall. Yep. So now that 50% utilization overall looks bad on a credit report, and to the bank, your risk assessment just went stupid high. So you need to make sure that risk assessment drops by making sure that all those payments are paid. Utilization is key, always is key, not only on an individual factor, but also on as a profile factor.
To touch a little bit detail, more in depth about that. When it comes to funding, banks are gonna look at your utilization. Now, another misconception is, well, if I throw on some trade lines, isn't that gonna lower my overall utilization? Yes, that's gonna lower your overall utilization. But when the banks go look at your, your history and all your accounts, and they see you're maxed out on 15 cards, well, they're gonna be like, yeah, no. You're still a risk. Just because now that's going to tell them that, oh, you use strategies. Now, I don't know about you because I don't know what else you're doing to make it look like you're a good candidate. Because again, when they see that you're maxed out on 4 cards, 5 cards, but your utilization is at 10%, well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because how is that possible? Oh, now we start looking. Now you have a lot of trade lines. Those aren't your accounts. Oh, okay. So you're playing games. So just another misconception is, oh, if I just throw on some trade lines, that's gonna help my utilization go all the way down, so I can go get funding. Make sure you're not maxed out on those credit cards.
Good.
Bravo. I couldn't have said that any better.
Good. So can the same credit principles be applied when looking for business funding? Are there specific differences people need to know when building business credit?
So you want to dissect that as business credit and business funding, or do you want to dissect that as just getting business funding? Because there's a lot that you packaged, Pandora's box on that question and what you just asked, because there's so many different ways that you can go about that answer. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start with business credit? Do you want to start with business funding? Where do you want us to go?
Let's talk about business credit first. Because we were talking about like a regular credit score first, and then we went into funding, like how to get funded. So let's start with business credit first.
So business credit is different than personal credit. Business credit is the actual credit worthiness of your actual EIN number, your business social security. So to get that credit worthiness built up, it's the same way that you would build your personal credit, which actually some tools also build business credit. But the way that you build it is going to be the exact same thing. Your credit cards, your accounts that you go get, leases, loans, things like that. It has the same aspect of building your personal credit. But once it's built, it can get access to a shiznit ton more money, because what happens is the business is not a liability. The business can run if the owner passes away, while a human being is a liability, because if they pass away, nobody's responsible for that debt. So they look at the business as a forever growing asset, as long as it's being ran correctly. So you can get access to a lot of funding if built correctly, with no personal guarantee in that sense. But I package business credit. I'm going to let Dre take business funding, because now he's going to talk about business funding in a different aspect from where I took it. He's going to take it another way. Dre, go for it.
Okay, so business funding. One more time. Repeat that question one more time.
I asked, can the same credit principles be applied when looking for business funding?
Well, so it's go ahead. So it's slightly different. Business credit, again, business credit, you have to have a lot of those accounts, like he was mentioning. You have to have a lot of different. You have to be making a certain amount of money when you're going for EIN business credit only. Now, when it comes for business funding use, meaning you're going to PG it, all you need to do is have a good personal credit report. And then that will allow, yes, then you need to have a certain, like 7 to 10 primary accounts, but you don't need to have as many open accounts as on the business side. That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. So everything else, after that is the same. Everything else around that is the same, except for the qualifications.
Credit is a concept. It's risk.
Yes.
That's all it is. If you understand the concept of risk, you understand credit. If I look super risky and super shady, I'm not going to get funded.
Yep.
If I have no risk, no shade going on, I'm 100% follow. I'm 100% fundable. That's it. I mean, I don't think there's any other way to.
There's not really a big difference between going and using your corporate credit, your business credit, and then go and get business funding, except for the qualifications. You just need more documentations. You need to be making solid revenue on your business side if you're going to go say, hey, my business ADR wants to go get funding. Well, that you need certain qualifications. Now, if I say me as a person, I want to go get business funding by leveraging my personal credit, I need less requirements, but again, there's still certain requirements that I need to meet.
Yep. It's good. Most people don't realize how multiple credit inquiries can hurt their score. How many is too many? And how can people reduce their exposure to unnecessary inquiries?
Beautiful. Well, I say don't go over. It depends on if you're in your, like, the start of your funding sequence, try to minimize them as much as possible. Try to minimize them as much as possible. I like to say have zero. When you're first going into your funding sequence, start up with zero. Why? Because you want to use each slot for me each time. And again, how can you minimize getting all these inquiries? Well, that comes with having a system and a plan and a strategy, meaning you have to do your homework on which banks pull from which bureaus. So you know which banks to go to. You need to know does this bank pull from all 3 bureaus? Well, I don't want to do that at first. Why? Because again, that's going to shoot me in the foot when I have to go to the next bureau. Make sense? Beautiful.
So how can people reduce their exposure to unnecessary inquiries?
Stop applying
Stop. I was just going to say, stop applying.
Stop applying. Again, buy things that you can afford. I said that before. I'll say that again. If you can't afford it, okay. Oh, I love this. This is a sales tactic. So let's expose everybody on the sales tactics over here. So whenever you go to the checkout at any major box brand that has a credit card, they'll be like, if you opened up a credit card today, we'll give you $100 off. That's how you get caught in the trap. You get caught in the trap by going to the big box stores, and then the minute that they that's an inquiry.
Yep.
They're going to pull, they're going to make sure you're qualified, and that's an inquiry that you don't need for an extra $100 off. FYI, pay what you can afford. You don't need that $100 off, because that $100 off can turn into debt later in the future that could be over $1,000 that they're making interest on, where now you're caught in a trap.
My biggest thing is we need to stop looking at, oh, I'm just going to use my credit just to go have fun, this, that, and third. We want to use our credit report as, this is a tool that I'm going to go leverage to go make money. So if I go just slap this with everybody, well, now that's going to diminish my report. So I want to go to certain places with a strategic. So again, so you go into Victoria's Secret and JCPenney's and all this and using your credit, applying for stuff, that's you're hoeing your report out to everybody. In layman's terms, like, you're hoeing your report out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so let's not do that. Let's make sure that, you know what, let's keep our report pristine. Why? Because again, we have our time. We're gonna have our time to go splurge and go do this and that and this and that. After we leverage our report to go get business funding, now we start investing. Now the profit that we make from those investments, now we can go do what we want. That's the time to go do what we want.
Perfect. So between using credit cards and taking out loans, which one is more effective for building credit in the long run, or is it a matter of balance?
Do you want to take it, or do you want me to take it?
I would say matter of balance, but again, it depends on what stage you're at. It depends on what stage you're at. If I'm in I need some business funding and I need some 0% interest, then go ahead. You need to go do these business credit cards, 0% interest ones. But if you just need big, large sums of money, hey, I don't really care about the interest, because I know I'm gonna flip it really quickly. Or I know I have a solid plan. Well, then you can mix them both. You can do the loans; those aren't 0% interest, but you have a solid plan. So you can do the loans and the credit cards. But you have to have, again, I keep saying this, a plan and a strategy. You can do anything. You can take on $2 million, $3, $4, $10 million worth of credit if you have the right plan and strategy. It's not scary if you have the right plan and strategy. Hopefully that makes sense.
I'm more on the defense of, it's where your credit is. If you're just starting, sometimes you're going to need those credit cards. You're not going to be qualified for the loans just yet because you may have no credit to build off of. While on the other end, once you build up a little bit, you may want a loan, like a car loan, like just simple and easy. You may want a car loan, which is something that can be paid off. So it all depends where you're at and what you're looking for. Mortgages are considered a regular loan as well, which is used to buy real estate, and you need these loans anyway. You need one, it's got to be revolving, you need an installment loan, and you need a real estate loan eventually to have perfect credit. So knowing what you need when you need it grows your credit. For example, just giving you a client may not be fundable if he doesn't have enough installment loans. If he doesn't sit down paying his credit constantly, he may not be fundable over time if he doesn't do what needs to be done. So, knowing where you are, what you need to do is a huge factor to building your profile up to where it needs to get. So, as much as I agree with what Dre said, I'm just piggybacking off in a different sentiment, because you may be at the beginning and you may not be able to get that loan yet. So you got to focus on the credit cards.
Perfect. Do installment loans and other loans like mortgages and car loans, do they affect your overall utilization?
No, they have their own utilization.
Okay.
So they're a different type of utilization. So revolving has its own utilization, and then you have installment and mortgage. Because yes, it's all your debt. So there's a whole debt profile. That's your whole debt to income ratio thing that comes into play. But revolving has its own debt, and that affects your credit tremendously, while your car loan and mortgage loan don't affect it as much. Yes, you'll get a jump when you pay them, but the jump is not as significant as when you pay down your revolving utilization. Dre, touch in on that one if you want. If I said something that was incorrect.
No, you're good. Yeah, loans and all that stuff. They don't report to your credit card utilization. That is just your utilization for your credit cards.
Perfect.
You're good.
So when someone's fixed their credit, what do they need to do to make sure they stay on track?
I mean, stay on track, right? It's not hard in the sentiment. It's if you're using our software, run it every single month. If you're dealing with somebody else, make sure you're getting with them every single month. Make sure you have credit monitoring to stay on track. Make sure you're monitoring it once a month, looking at your Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. You can get all freebies. You can go get Credit Karma. Monitor it. Your credit gets fixed by you monitoring it. Not magically overnight gets fixed because you send out a letter. It gets fixed because you monitor it and you keep sending out letters until it gets done. Okay? And you have to come into that sentiment of what it is to understand that piece, that you're monitoring it, you staying consistent, you executing every single month will give you the ability to get your credit score to where it needs to be. Jay, you want to add to that?
No, I just again, staying on your stuff, guys. Like when you get in rooms like this, when you come on lives like this, I don't know where you're streaming, but when you come on lives like this and stuff like that, like you get in rooms like this where people keep you accountable. Makes sense. That's why we have our communities, because again, join the community so you can stay accountable. That makes sense, because again, when you start doing this stuff and something doesn't work, well, dang, and then you get discouraged. Well, dang. But when you're inside this community and we're talking about actually helping each other out and actually like staying on topic and on track, then you can it'll be easy. It'll be easy.
Perfect. Many people think closing old accounts will improve their credit score. What actually happens when you close an old account, and why might not that be the best strategy?
So closing an old account eventually ages off. So it'll age to a certain time and then it'll fall off the account. So actually closing an account, you're going to get that age, boom, it drops off. So once that happens, you're actually getting rid of everything that you need. And because you're getting rid of everything that you need, it goes to a certain sentiment that doesn't work. Jay, you want to add to that?
Nope, that's spot on. We don't want to be closing accounts because again, yes, you lose all of that, whatever positivity that you were building with that account. Once it's closed, it's dead. So yeah, I don't recommend just closing accounts just to close them.
Yeah.
Perfect. Is it possible to use credit responsibly as a tool for building wealth and investing? And what are some ways credit can help you leverage opportunities without falling into debt traps?
I mean, this could be answered by both of us.
It could be
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, so yes, you can use credit to invest into any business that you want to get. I just saw an actual close friend of mine just used 19 credit cards to buy a piece of property. So he liquidated all his credit cards to buy a piece of property. He bought a $4 million property, and now all those credit cards are going to be paid every single month. So at the end of the day, can it be used as the leverage to buy what you need? Absolutely. So you need to be in that mindset that credit is not bad, it's a leverage. You can leverage it to open up business. Just make sure the business is cash flowing immediately. Don't buy something that's not cash flowing. Okay, don't buy a business that's not cash flowing month one. Don't buy a business that's going to take time to start cash flowing. You don't want that. You don't want to wait for cash flow to come in. Usually buying an existing business that's already making money, that's what you want. That's the best way to go. At even e-commerce stores, things like that, like putting a little bit of marketing into it to really start what needs to be happening. That's where it is. That's the greatest thing. So to answer the end question is how don't you get into trouble? It's exactly what I said. Do not buy a business that is not cash flowing already. Do not buy something that is not making money. Do not buy something because it looks pretty or it's this or it's that. No, don't do that. Buy things that are already making money, that have cash flow, that people are selling because they're aging out. That's what you want. You want to buy things that people are aging out of, and now you start moving in and creating your business and doing what needs to be done. Dre, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, so I recommend everybody. Yes, I would 1,000,000% use your credit, your funding, and all that stuff to invest into something. The first thing that the first thing that I would invest into is yourself. Is into a mentor. Why? Because it doesn't matter if you want to get into real estate. You don't know what other people have come up into, like what issues people have solved. So you might have those same issues. You might run into those. So if you invest, as soon as you get your funding or whatever, the first thing you need to do is find a mentor, go invest into that mentor so you can start learning the information that they have so you can skip those roadblocks that they had to hit. Now, because again, if you start hitting those same roadblocks, well, what if it took them 3 years to make their first dollar? Well, now you're going to learn that. Now that's going to carve out. Now you're going to make your first dollar in the first week, in the first month. Why? Because you learned what they had to take 3 years to learn. So again, that I've seen my biggest return, ROI, return on investment, by investing into myself, investing into a mentorship, because that just took me leaps and jumps, like further beyond my peers.
Perfect. That's good. Debt settlement is an option for some, but how does it really affect your credit? Is it a good option for improving your credit score, or should people avoid it?
Go for that one.
Debt settlement is garbage.
Okay.
Absolute trash.
Yeah.
Debt settlement is something. It's a gimmick. Here's your debt settlement. Okay, very, very easy. I told you it before, but I'm gonna take all your credit cards. Okay, find out what your credit cards are, what you need to get them under 20%. Right? Very simple. Say it's $10,000 to get them under 20%. You need to pay them down to $2,000. Okay, you owe $4,000. Okay, $4,000. You need to pay $2,000 back. So now you structure your cards in the sense of, I'm going to pay $100 every week for the next 20 weeks. Now I'm going to get down to I'm going to get that $2,000 down to whatchamacallit. Is it going to hurt down to 2,000? And now what you can do is you can get a SoFi loan or one of these other loans, which will give you at a percentage, build credit at the same time. You take that SoFi loan, you pay the other $2,000 down using the SoFi loan with one thing. You distribute all the money out and pay all your utilization down to zero. And that's the key case in point. That's my ideology of debt settlement. I think the debt settlement's garbage. I never did it, never will go through it, never will do anything with it. A lot of people swear by it. I don't swear by it. You're capable as a human being to do debt settlement. It's not as hard as people think it is.
Spot on. Nope. If I was talking to my family, I would tell my family, absolutely, we are not doing debt settlement. We're going to take care of our debt ourselves. We are going to have, again, I'm going to repeat that like I sound like a broken record. You can do anything with a strategy and a plan. The only reason why you haven't done it is because you don't know the strategy or the plan, which means you might have to get a mentor. You might have to get a mentor. That's my 2 cents on that one.
Perfect. So life can be unpredictable and financial stress happens. How can someone manage their credit during tough times to prevent long-term damage while still addressing their financial struggles?
I'm going to start this, Dre. You're going to take this after. You never start to manage your credit during tough times. You should have been managing your credit during good times. That's the problem. You've already screwed up at that point. The qualification of that question is horrible, because now you're saying, hey, I'm in a bad situation over here. What do I do? No.
Yep.
What you need to do is start to manage your credit properly from the beginning. So I tell everybody this is always have 12 months of payments put away constantly. I have 12 months of funds always put away. Always, always, always put away. Because, God forbid, I lose my job, I break a leg, I don't want to come to work anymore. Just use that as an example. Say I'm going through a mental crisis and I don't want to come to work anymore. I just want to take a month off. I have a month worth of payments put away that I can utilize to make sure that I don't ever fall on hard times. People fall on hard times because they don't manage themselves correctly. Hence why credit is a risk assessment. The bank knows I am not a risk because I manage myself correctly.
Mm-hmm.
When people fall on hard times, it's because they never manage themselves correctly. They never manage their bank account correctly. Oh shit, I got an extra 2 G's in my account this week. Let me go out to dinner at a nice fancy restaurant that cost me $500.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not worth it. Dre, you could take it over.
So, one thing that I've been telling my mentees is we want to be proactive and not reactive.
Okay.
So we don't want to wait until something happens to react to it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be proactive. Let's already start planning, sitting down. All right, so if this happens,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be covered because I did this, or I set up this, and this. Like Ali said, I also have, when I say a years of bills, like I have my bills, my woman's bills. I have just in case my mother or my aunt asks for some money. I have a little account for them because again, I have a little spending money just for them. I have stuff just set in place. So when I hit my I'm getting a little broke, I know for a fact I'm gonna bitch. I'm gonna complain. But at the end of the day, I'm not at my last because I was proactive and not reactive. So again, that little cushion, and hopefully that never happens. But if I ever get to that, oh Lord, somebody, hey, red flag, white flag. If I ever get down to that limit, I still have another year of figuring it the hell out. Like seriously, like everybody like who's tied to me, we have another year of figuring it out. Now, if I take that whole year, figure it out, and nothing happens, well, yeah, we got some issues.
Yeah.
So, but my biggest thing is to drive it home. Everybody, you could be proactive and not reactive with your finances, with everything.
I mean, that's literally it. It's it's not taught in schools. That's the problem. Dre and I teach it all the time. I teach it to anybody that comes across me. Well, I know. I was in your shoes. I know exactly what happened. I know you lost your job. You didn't have any money in the bank. You started spending money foolishly. You had $4,000 in credit card debt, and now you can't pay anything off. So now it went into charge off, and now you have bad credit. So not only did the job mess you up, but your spending habits messed you up. And to teach yourself to have good spending habits is actually very hard. It is very, very hard. Even for, talking from experience, it's hard when you work really hard and you want something. I'm gonna be straight with you. Even if it's a sandwich from the sandwich shop, I can't afford it this week, but it's good to know that I have the money at least for a year. That's it. After a year, you're good. Start enjoying life a little bit. Dre, would you agree on that sentiment? Enjoying life?
Yes, yeah. I agree on that sentiment that the worst thing that somebody can have with money problems is money. The worst thing somebody can have if you have money issues, the worst thing that somebody can give you today is money. Why? Tomorrow you're gonna be broke. Tomorrow you might be dead tomorrow because you went out and spent so much stuff because I want this, and now you done messed up and you killed yourself. So again, before you step into money, I'm gonna keep saying this again. You need to get a mentor. Once you start getting business funding, you start getting approved for these type of limits. Okay, now, I see some money coming in. Before you start, okay, let me start investing, going balling and all that. Go get a mentor because your mentor is gonna say, "Oh, hold up, we gotta put that money in some stuff. What do you want to do? Okay, let's get some automations. Let's get some systems. Let's start not your 401k, but let's go get some high yield savings accounts. Let's go start up your IUL in your whole life insurance. Like let's go start doing that stuff with this money. Let's start setting that stuff up first. Not talking anything about going to the club, buying that Ferrari, none of that stuff. Because again, if you start focusing on that type of stuff, you're gonna go broke within a month, if not sooner than that. So again, my biggest thing is you don't want to give. If you have money issues, go lock in with a mentor that will help you with that. Because again, if you don't get that correct, anything that you get in life is gone.
Perfect. That's good. I think we have one more question left. So when someone knows they're about to make a major purchase like a house or a car, what should they do to prepare their credit profile, and how early should they start planning?
Run your credit through the score machine, and it'll let you know immediately if you're ready or not. I don't even have to answer that because we built a system. We literally built a system that's the bank lender's gonna look at. I don't have to. The bank lender is going to look at that. If you're good and you have all the check marks checked on the score machine, you're good to rock and roll. You don't have to do nothing. If you don't have all those bank marks, all those check marks checked in the score machine, like I said, get locked in with us on the Discord channel. We'll get in. We'll start talking. We'll do what needs to be done. Dre, you want to put anything else?
Nope, that's very true. Again, we made this software so there is no guessing. It takes all the guesswork out. There is no okay. So am I do I have anything on my report? Well, put your report in the software. It'll tell you. Well, am I ready for funding? Put your report in the software, and it'll tell you. There is no guessing. There is no guessing. They'll tell you what stage you're. If you need to fix it, well, you go fix this. You ready for funding? Let's go to here, and here.
Perfect. Awesome. That was amazing, you guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We learned a lot. And you guys have any last words?
Hey, guys, just be vigilant on what you do every day. You know, extra $100 a day will help, but knowing how to leverage your credit will even help even more. That's why we're here. We're here to teach you what wasn't taught to us. So, like Dre always says, get yourself a mentor. You're looking at two of them right now. I know Dre doesn't have his camera on, but you're looking at two of them right now. At the end of the day, you can get locked in with us at any time, and we'll definitely take you to the promised land. Dre, anything else on you?
No, I love it. Just audit your time, guys. Just make sure you audit your time. Make sure that we all have 24 hours in a day. Billionaires have 24 hours in a day. Millionaires have 24 hours in a day. Broke people have 24 hours in a day. It just depends on what you're doing with your time. Depends on what you're doing with your time. So audit your time, guys.
Perfect.
Beautiful. All right. I think we'll end it on that note. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next. We'll see you next Thursday.